Hi everybody, it's Adrienne. So I have a different project for today. This is not bridal related, but this is a little piece of my sewing journey as a baby seamstress. I replaced a lot of zippers and zipper heads at the dry cleaners where I worked as a youth, and this is one that made me a lot of money back in the day. So I wanted to share this as a little piece of my history. Okay, so the tools that we need: flathead screwdriver to pry open the old and the new zipper head. You're going to give it a little twist to widen the gap so that you can slide the heads on and off just like that. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, you just need enough to slide this off the track like so. This one's pretty soft. Now these pliers, we're going to actually wrap the tips. I don't have a wrapped pair anymore. I was looking for my favorite wrapped set and I couldn't find them. We're going to wrap them in blue tape so that we don't scuff up the new one. It's amazing how everything gets harder once you're recording and once you're holding a camera. Apply some pressure. Now this alteration is one that a dry cleaner offers, and if you can learn how to do this one in slow season, there we go. You can see how that was like already super weak and broke really easy. That's the number one issue with old heads, is they just get tired and weak. This one, the loop to hold the actual tab just fully fell off, so that's no garbage. And now, what do we do to get a new one back on? I think the very first thing to do anytime you get a zipper replacement is to check the quality of both sides. This one doesn't need to have the zipper replaced, it just needs the head replaced. And I went ahead, I have this multi-pack of replacement heads that I got from Wawak. So we're just going to pick one that looks like a nice color. I feel like that's taupey. It's not bad. Let's hang on to that one. Ooh, that one looks nice. I feel like this one's a touch too warm. Let's go with this guy. Okay, so I'm going to set that over here. Put these all away. It's super helpful to just go ahead and get yourself replacement heads so that you have them to go with anything instead of waiting till you get a job in. Ask me how I know. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of this tape because I don't want to mess up the finish on the new head. So I'm going to rip off some tape and wrap both sides of the teeth just to give myself a little bit of a nicer surface in here for squeezing it back down. Now you can use rubber tipped ones if you want to, whatever your jam is. This is just nice because you probably already have painter's tape or something. I'm going to squeeze it to kind of work the tape into the grooves. You can see that. Okay, that feels much better. So now we're going to take this bad boy, and obviously you can't just like pop it on randomly. Now some people will go from the top down. That works really well. You just have to look for how much. Oh, that one popped on really easy actually. I'm suspicious if this is actually going to stay on or work or not. So this matches the size of the old head, but it might not be a fit if it popped on that easily. Or, no, it looks pretty level. Sometimes the zipper heads are pre-opened, so they'll be like wider on one end of the gap than the other, but this one looks level. So let's just try this. This might not even be a good fit. Pop that in. Zipper up, and then, oh, okay, no, this does work. Okay, so the number one way to tell is if you push and pull the new zipper and it just pops apart, then it hasn't made good connection. What I'm going to look for, though, is when I get up here, if this just pops right off, though, that's not a good fit. Okay. Let's see. Well, it stays on. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the bottoms, though. That was almost a little too easy. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why zipper repair is a lot of fun, because sometimes it is just as simple as putting a new head on and you're good to go. Now, the question is, what spot do we squeeze? Bottom left corner on this bad boy, since we're on the left side here. that's the corner that's going to make the difference. So I'm going to put the pliers on the bottom and the top, and I'm going to try to avoid squeezing the teeth. I'm just going to give it like the weeniest little tiny bit. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, you have to make the booping sounds. And I just want to feel what this feels like at the top because it was super easy for me to pop on. Okay. So I'm just making sure because it popped on easy. There we go. That squeeze did it. Yes. Okay. They don't all go this fast. I feel like this is almost dangerous to put on the internet because this makes this look super simple. But honestly, sometimes it is this simple. And this is why I love this repair. So some people just don't want to do things themselves, and that's totally fine. I don't like changing my own oil. Do I know how? Absolutely. Do I want to do it anymore? No. Knowing how to do it means that I appreciate the shop where I take it, and I can appreciate the money spent on it because I know that I don't need to worry about spending time on that. Hey, I mean, would you look at that? So my favorite way to run zipper replacements of any sort. So I live in a state that has has a very distinct summer and a very distinct winter. And the worst time to replace a zipper or a zipper head is when you need it. So it's nice to run a promotion like a Christmas in July sale where you stock up on all your goodies so you have lots on hand to use. And you run a special for people to bring their jackets in early. So whatever this opposite season is for you where you live, run your special then and say, hey, Christmas in July, go check out your jackets and see what needs repaired and bring them in early to save, a rush fee, to save being cold, whatever wording that you want to use. But basically it gets you work in your off season that you can kind of plan on a little bit better. And you can just sit down and get a bunch of them done at the same time. And if they're all this easy, that's awesome. Now, in my area, this particular repair is like $20 to $25, depending on where you go. And as you can see, if it's $20 to $25 for approximately 10 minutes worth of work, that's pretty cool. Now, I used to also brush the jackets. I would do some other light repair. So I had noticed there was some tearing on this liner, so I might go ahead and patch that up for this client, just because that's the shell. So they're gonna have a cold little back there. So I'll go ahead and look over anything else that needs brushed or cleaned, and just make sure that any spots that could need reinforcement has been addressed. Usually there's something along a wrist line, and I would just do a little look over. So just out of courtesy, because I know this one can go quick sometimes, it makes me feel good to offer a little bit of a tidy up service. But this is a very good one. This particular size, I feel like is really, really the most common. These are number 5s. I also have the next size up, which are giant looking. Those are for like refrigerated workplace jackets, which are really cool too. Those you can charge a lot more for too, because they're a little heavier. So they're a little harder to work with. But obviously this is much easier, and then you can preserve the look of the jacket by not having to redo the teeth portion, because that can be very, very costly. But at least then, if you run this special in the summertime, if you do run into one where you need to order new teeth and it's not needed right now, like it's not cold enough to warrant needing a jacket, you can have time to order a custom zipper, a zipper length, color, whatever you need, without feeling like, oh my God, my client's going to freeze without this jacket if I don't, hurry. Plus, depending on where you live, one of my favorite people to order zippers from is Zipper Stop in New York, and they close down hard around the holiday time, which is when, jackets are needed. So, like I said, that's why the worst time to get a jacket repaired is when you need it, because the closures for the supply shops are there. You're cold, and then there might be a rush fee towards the very end. So this is a good way to help your clients prepare, and to prepare yourself with work, and to remind them that this is something they might need to have done. So this is an awesome one. I've done a million of these in my life. I've done these on, what's the vacuum bags, the Oric bags. Sometimes you need new zippers. Don't overlook zippers. This can still make you money in your off season. which is really, really nice. And like I said, by bundling a bunch of the same type of thing at one time, it kind of preserves your brain a little bit. You can, doing these one off at a time isn't always the most fun, but if you sit down to work on a whole stack of jackets and kind of evaluate them all, it can be a little bit more fun, in my opinion. So I hope this was helpful and interesting. If you want to see some more of my, um, little stuff like this, dry cleaning style repairs or alterations, I can sprinkle these in every so often. This was really my bread and butter, my foundation when I first started, and I think it's always nice to know where somebody comes from, what their foundation is, and this is definitely one I've done a million billion times and paid a lot of bills with this one. So, alrighty, well, you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.